really understood like how bizarre and
the
how
defensive
cult,
for that.
yeah, how cult-like this ideology is.
I'd like to see you transition to a woman and fight women.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Fucking to have what 12 murder charges? That would be the fun part.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, of course not.
Joe Rogan has never been one to sugarcoat his thoughts, and when it comes to woke culture, he's relentless. He calls it out exactly for what it is, a bizarre social experiment gone wrong. The problem? People are being bullied into pretending absurdities are normal. He's tired of watching rational thought get thrown out the window for the sake of appeasing overly sensitive, easily offended mobs.
I think there's also a lot of people that are teaching school that don't have children of their own, and that also they get social value and social brownie points for embracing gender ideology, because it's the like.
But how many generations until we lose? How many generations until?
Depends on what happens. One thing that, well, this is the question: are we at the fall of an empire? Because if we are at the fall of an empire, I've talked about this before, but Douglas Murray, who's this British intellectual, who's also gay by the way, he says that at the end of every empire, they become obsessed with gender.
People just need something to fight over.
Well, it's also an easy way where you can become special. Yeah. I mean, the New Jersey just said that there was a 4,000% increase in kids identifying as non-binary. First of all, what the does that even mean? And allowing someone to say they're non-binary to me is like, listen, you don't have to embrace masculinity and you don't have to embrace femininity. You don't have to. But I mean, we're making people special with no effort. You just say you're a they and a them, and everybody has to say that. And if they don't say that, you can yell at them.
From cancel culture to gender identity debates, Rogan refuses to play along. He's one of the few voices brave enough to say what others are too scared to admit. And that's why he's become a massive thorn in the side of the woke agenda. One of the most alarming things Rogan points out is how much pressure there is to conform. Now, you're expected to enthusiastically agree with everything they say.
And when I hear people talking about hormone blockers being reversible, like what, but what, at what cost? Like, what is going to happen? Like, there's a lot of people out there that no longer can have children. They don't have their penis anymore. They don't have their ovaries anymore. It's a toxic thing that people are doing. It's this, you know, looking for people that are bad and looking for things that are wrong, looking for wrong speak. It's very toxic. It's toxic for the people that are doing it. It's toxic for the people that are receiving it. It's not a way that human beings would ever communicate in one-on-one. You're doing some stuff to people that's not, your body's not supposed to have that in there.
Rogan's stance, it's nonsense. Respect should never mean you have to abandon your own beliefs. The woke crowd isn't interested in dialogue or debate. They want compliance. They want you to parrot their talking points and pretend it's all logical.
The reality is a woman becomes something different when she starts taking male hormones. You just do. You become something different. Your tendons strengthen, your bone structure changes, your voice deepens. You become much more like a man. I mean, that's when you see transgender women, when a woman rather is a transgender man, she decides she wants to be a man. They start taking testosterone. They get beards. They have all sorts of strange things happen down below. And they start having a deeper voice and they sound like a man. Yeah. And then that's exactly what happens to a woman when a woman takes steroids if she's not trying to transition. It's the same thing. Yeah. You're just taking male hormones that make your muscles grow far larger than they're supposed to. And I think that someone should have told her at the time, like, let's just stop fighting. Let's stop fighting. Or this is my take on it. Like,
but she needed to keep fighting so that she could pay for her transitions, right?
Elite fighter until the transition, and then you see the skills start to diminish because there's no more testosterone. When she's fighting men.
Cancel culture has become the weapon of choice for woke warriors. Rogan sees it for what it is, a modern-day witch hunt. Rogan's take? This culture of purging people for wrongthink is insane. He's watched friends, comedians, and public figures have their lives turned upside down for stepping 1 inch outside the woke boundary. For Rogan, this isn't about accountability. It's about control. And the worst part, it's working. People are terrified to speak freely. The right to say what you believe, culture has made it so that expressing any idea that contradicts their narrative can cost you your job, your reputation, and your platform. Rogan's been hit with backlash time and time again, but he's never backed down. Why? Because he knows that once you start policing speech, society becomes a minefield where everyone is afraid to speak their mind.
The most maligned section of society, which is like transgender people. And so everybody else who also has been marginalized by society, like women. Women get put on they get put in a less protected category than transgender women.
Right.
So a man becomes a more protected class of woman.
Yeah.
Than a natural born woman herself.
That's very interesting.
It's crazy.
That is. It's very true.
One of the most mind-bending aspects of woke culture that Rogan can't stand is its blatant hypocrisy. They scream about tolerance, but show none. They preach inclusion, but only if you fit their mold. Rogan's been relentless in pointing out the contradictions.
Women, trans women are women.
Well, I'm telling you, as a man, that's bull. It's total bull.
Okay.
You know what? Nobody confronts you. That's the problem. You're not a woman. You don't look like a woman. You don't act like a woman.
Really?
You're in the head. What's wrong with you? I am 78. I went to Vietnam to fight for all this. Do you think I care about some feelings? Absolutely not.
Woke activists claim they're champions of equality, yet they bully and shame anyone who dares to disagree. How is that any different from the oppressive systems they claim to fight? Rogan exposes these double standards regularly, showing that their morality is nothing more than a smokescreen. It's about power, not principles. He's not buying it, and neither should you.
Say no to being woke, and if you want to see comedians tearing down woke clowns, click on the video below. We'll see you next time. Cue the outro song.
We are the anti-woke police, here to save the world. You see.